welcome to Tech Talks, the People and Planet podcast. On this episode, I'm joined by Joly Zou and Claire Stewart, co-founders of health and sports tech startup Prorizon. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Hello.
all good here.
We are good, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's going to be really interesting as well. And I'm so glad that both co-founders have come on the show as well, because it's nice to get the different perspectives of what you guys do individually. A lot of the time we have either co-founder that comes on and talks about specifically their perspective. So it's going to be nice to get a holistic idea of where you guys are going with this. So as I say, health and sports tech. Tell us a little bit more. I think there's a specific niche in there. What's the problem that you guys solve with a company mission, and what inspired it?
Yeah, thanks so much for that, and thanks for the opportunity. So as you say, we are a tech startup. We're integrating mind and body to optimize health and performance for young people in today's high-pressure, performance-driven society. And as you say, we're starting in sport. And the reason for doing that is as a consequence of the constant pressure that athletes are under to perform. They often face significant mental health issues. Now, vast investments are made into physiological performance as well as technological advancements, but mental health lags behind. And as a consequence of that, many high-performance athletes not only fail to reach their full potential, but also face a future of avoidable chronic ill health. And it's this problem that Prorizon is addressing. So by integrating, not by segregating mind and body, our mission is to optimize the health and performance of young people in today's high-pressure, performance-driven society, taking a science-first, data-driven approach.
Wow, okay. And it's a huge problem, isn't it?
It really is.
It's quite well documented now, and you see some quite high-profile athletes that come on and do documentaries about it and things like that as well. And I've seen a few recently. So it is really a huge problem. So how do you guys go about solving that problem? Then what's the product? Unwrap that a little bit for us.
Yeah, I think you are definitely right. It's kind of like, in a way, it's good that the athletes are coming up, and this problem has been hidden for a long time, and the top athletes coming up finally get the industry to realize this is a problem. It's not just about mental health; it's also impacting their performance as well. So how we solve this is we provide comprehensive software solutions, and it's including a mobile app for athletes and also a dashboard for sports teams. And as Claire already said, and these tools helps them to optimize mental and physical health and improve their performance. And how we do this? So for athletes, we know that athletes often use different tools and apps already. They are very used to data collection, but all of those data are usually currently segregated, and the insights that they gain from those data can even be sometimes conflicting. So this makes it really hard for them to make informed decisions. So what we do, our mobile app is integrates with a range of wearable devices, biosensors, and other apps to collect very comprehensive biopsychosocial data around the athletes. And then our advanced analytics and insights will help them to understand the factors affecting their well-being, their performance, and providing them with personalized, very relevant recommendations and programs to enhance them. And so additionally, on our app, we also provide them with access to a resource library that is built by experts, and also we have in-app experts and peer support. So what we really do is, we are bringing a very personalized science support team, make this available to every athlete to be in their pocket and empowering them to reach their potentials. And just the last bit, we also have a dashboard for teams. And what we do is our platform offers them analytics based on aggregated data. And this helps the team members to identify potential gaps and areas for improvement so that they can deliver their services more effectively.
Like it. Okay, brilliant. So just so I'm clear then, and the listeners are clear. So you guys are collecting, I guess, physical performance data.
Oh, we are collecting a range of data. It's including physical performance data. So as I was saying that we integrate wearable devices to collect physiology and biosensors. It could be biological data. And also in our app, we collect psychosocial data as well. So this is done where a combination between self-reporting, kind of like a manual input, and also integrating with other apps, because we get a lot of behavior and kind of like social data where GPS, kind of like and how they use other apps as well. So we collect very comprehensively a range of data.
And then how would the athlete use that data then? Would you give recommendations as to how to improve mental health and things like that?
Yeah, so essentially what it is their data for them are summarized, and we look for associations between their physical and their psychosocial data. And then as a consequence of that, they're provided with tips and insights to optimize their health and their performance. So we're not saying that we're providing psychological support, because that isn't where we come from. That's not our background. But what we would do is to say, it looks like as a consequence of, what you've been doing over the last few days, there's a downward trajectory in your mental health or your social health or your physiological health. And as a consequence of that, you may want to seek support and advice from a professional, or you may want to build in a rest day, or you may want to talk to your coach or your nutritionist around guidance for further support to ensure that you don't spiral out of control. We do, as Joly also said, we have expert input from professionals in the field who could provide that guidance and support. And we also have expert content. So if it's just a matter of maybe doing some reading around how to optimize their social support while they're also trying to perform as an athlete, that information would be readily available within the app, and they would be directed towards that information.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit onto that, I think, as Claire already said, it's very individualized. It's really up to each of them. And the key difference we do is is the association. We are helping them to identify the potential causes and the factors that are influencing, it's the stress, health, and performance. So we are looking at the associations between those and giving them recommendations to, for somebody who's having potentially a stress kind of like issue, it could be actually caused because of nutrition, because of physiology, their activities. So we are giving them recommendations based on the factors, not just based on the symptoms.
And do they have to input their own kind of situation currently? So whether they external factors that might be contributing to this. So for example, the thing that came into my head, because it resonates with me, is if they've got a baby and the baby's not sleeping at night, which means that mummy and daddy aren't sleeping at night either, which then impacts the rest of the day, whether it's whether it's training performance or whether it's mentally or whatever else. So does that person have to input those facts in?
Yeah, so initially they do. So there's like a 2-week onboarding where that information is brought to fore, and then that's repeated probably about 3 to 4 times a year. So as someone's circumstances change, we can recalibrate what their baseline does look like. But also the idea would be, as we collect more individualized data from those people, we'll be able to determine what we call causal associations between the data. So are there psychosocial events that impact their physiology, or are there physiology events that impact their psychosocial health? And we can then manipulate that in a virtual environment and give them really personalized tips that will hopefully support them. So as you say, if we don't know what's going on in their social life, that personalization is lost. And so it's that which really makes us novel and different to other technology.
Yeah, definitely. Because it relies on the person that's doing it to be factual and truthful as well, isn't it? Because they're doing themselves a disservice otherwise, aren't they, I suppose?
Yeah. I think that's actually one of the you raise a very interesting point, because the existing softwares, kind of like they channel those data to the team coaches, to the team membership, to the team members, and many athletes, like, they wouldn't be kind of like as truthful, because they are worried about the what the consequences would have on their career. So we actually don't. I mean, for athletes, their data is theirs. They have their control. They don't need to share with their team. We only work with aggregated data.
Got it. Got it. And you can see where this can be, going into different markets, can't you? I'm not a professional athlete by any stretch, but I enjoy working out and whatnot, and I run a business. Like I said to you before, I've got a small family, so all of these things you're kind of thinking, all of that data would be great to understand and just to see where you're up to personally, whether you're a professional athlete or not.
Yeah, absolutely right, because high pressure and performance is very different for everybody. So, the majority of people today are in high pressure, performance driven jobs, lives, environments. Sure. And so having that understanding and enabling you to make informed, healthy life choices is our ultimate goal. But obviously starting in a sporting environment where athletes have a huge unmet need, but are also used to technology and data, ensures that as we develop our technology, we're doing it with validity and with accuracy going forward.
Absolutely. Sounds brilliant. How did you guys arrive at this product then? What's your background? Tell me a little bit about your own stories.
Yeah, so I'm an academic. I'm a scientist and a professor. I have a fundamental research interest in the mechanisms that underpin human adaptation and health. And my research focus has always been on a life course approach to healthy aging. So for me, when the opportunity arose via Zinc VC to join them on their mission-driven accelerator around mental health problems in children and young adults, when that arose, it was just like an incredibly exciting opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So I was really fortunate. I gained a place on the accelerator. I was even more fortunate to meet Joly on the accelerator, and we joined up together to form Prorizon. So that's sort of me with my academic hat on. But I'm also a mother. So I'm a mother of an international athlete. My daughter's an international athlete. My son's a professional performing artist.
Wow.
So I've witnessed firsthand the pressure that they're under from a mental and a physical perspective to perform. So witnessing that firsthand has really given me an insight into the needs of these young people. And so, it was that opportunity really to bring my professional and my personal life stories together, I guess, to enable a healthier life course for young people. So that's what drove me forward. That's me in a nutshell.
Thanks for sharing. What about you, Joly?
So I come from a very different background. I'm from corporate, kind of like in the business world, with a marketing background, and I have experience across really global companies like Microsoft, local SMEs, and also nonprofits. And I would say I'm a quite passionate problem solver and activator, and I just always looking for new ways to make positive change. I have founded other tech and also non-tech businesses in the past. So before COVID, I actually had a travel tech startup, which was about empowering young women through spontaneous and safe connections and activities. But of course, due to COVID, sadly have to close it down. But my passion for empowering young people is still here, it stayed. And as Claire already said, when COVID was opening up, we joined, I met Claire at Zinc, and it's just, I got really excited about the potential of transforming health, because we are looking at, kind of like health from a holistic angle through bioscience lens. And it's not just about the treatment. It's not just about fixing symptoms. It's really about, going into addressing the root cause of it. So that got me super excited about, giving young people more tools to give them, more autonomy. So that's what drives me. And that's why we founded the Prorizon.
Brilliant. And I knew that, when you both agreed to come on to the show, that you would have different backgrounds, and it's great to see how they really complement each other as well. So thank you for sharing that. But you know, I'm always interested on this show to understand challenges. You guys run a startup. It's never plain sailing with a startup. I don't think I've ever come across one where it's just all been, fair weather. How do you guys navigate challenges? We've got a lot of other founders that listen to this show as well. So it's always great to kind of share and compare notes.
Yeah, so I guess for me, the challenges were around transitions. All of my career pretty much was in academia, so I know how it works. I understand the language. I know what's required of me. So going into a startup for me was a startup in more ways than one, not just the business, but a complete startup for me as a person as well. So coming with that was an incredibly steep learning curve. And, you're constantly being told the success rate in startups is tiny. The majority of them will fail. But I think if you look at that through a different lens and you look at it as an opportunity to be like a student all over again, you have that incredible opportunity to start from the outset, to learn, to have a steep learning curve, to face challenges. It's actually incredibly exciting. And if you take it from that point of view, then actually the failure kind of goes away. It disappears into the background because you're constantly learning, you're constantly iterating, you're facing those challenges, and those challenges, I think, become opportunities. It is really hard work. And I think for me, what I would advise if anyone is thinking of going into this world, regardless of the background that they're coming from, is make sure that the vision and the mission that you're working towards is something you're incredibly passionate about. And also make sure that you're working with, just truly amazing people who share that same vision, that same mission, who can pick you up when you're struggling, who you can pick up when they're struggling. And who just really come together as a team to support each other with that vision in mind. And if you can do that, then it's a win-win regardless of the ups and downs of daily life.
Nice, like it. And yourself, Joly?
Yeah, I think kind of like for me, from the business side, of course, I think all startups share the same problem, like a lack of resources. It's not just funding, but it's also, people and time as well. I think kind of like having a co-founder and having a small team is really kind of like really valuable in that one. And the prioritization and the delegation are just really crucial. I think I'm really blessed with meeting Claire, and we have a great trusted relationship. We rely really heavily on each other's expertise. We coming from very different background. That's actually a plus. And we just trust each other's work and trust each other's decisions. So this really helps us in our efficiency quite a lot. And of course, I think a kind of like a networking connections within the startup environment, kind of like connecting with you and other founders. And it's really, we have received invaluable help and advice from incredible amount of people. I mean, they just advice to actual project work. They really just believed in us and believe in our vision. I think, getting out there, speaking about it, not afraid, and, making connections, that is really, really, really crucial. And I think, as Claire already said, having each other, having somebody who shared the journey with me, at least is really, because there's so many ups and downs. I sometimes feels, depressed or lack of motivation. Yeah, so it's great to pick each other up on that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What's next for Prorizon then? Anything that you can share for our listeners?
Yeah, we have a few kind of like exciting things. And firstly, we are kind of like developing our app, and we have a new version that is coming up with responsive nudges and providing more real-time feedback. So that will be launching soon. And we are also starting a series of interviews with athletes, sports scientists, and sports professionals, which centers around well-being and development. So what we really want to do is to have Prorizon to become a community, kind of like a place for inspiring athletes and professionals, for them to share their stories and support each other. We actually already interviewed some of the really great athletes already, and they are actually great entrepreneurs themselves. You can see, the resilience and all of the skills and expertise they get from sports is translated really well into the, startup world as well. And I think lastly, from my side, we are expanding our market reach. So we are currently in negotiation and the preparation for a launch with a North American team.
Wow.
So we cannot mention their name first because it hasn't been signed, the contract. But yeah, stay tuned with us. We are going to have some announcement.
Well, we will look forward to doing a podcast 0.20 on that, where you can share all of that detail about which American sports team it's been. But Joly and Claire, it's been lovely to meet you guys and to learn more about Prorizon and the business and what you guys are going to be up to in the future. So thank you so much for joining us. Guys,
thank you.
Thank you, Joly and Claire from Prorizon.
Thank you very much. Thanks.